Hi, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm Mark Crandall.
And I'm Mark Crandall.
That must mean it's Cooking with the Crandalls. All right, excellent. Well, it's another season.
Rock and roll.
And it's another episode. So let's start off with a harvest of a bounty.
Oh,
all right.
It's going to be a good show.
Okay, so anyway, celebrating the autumn weather and, of course, Thanksgiving coming up, which we'll have a special Thanksgiving episode for.
Yeah.
We have a little treat for us today. I see you have apples over there.
I have apples, and I have a corer, circa 1932, I think it is. And we're going to be using that to make some apples. And instead of an apple pie, being consistent with our show, it's kind of quicker food, something like that. We're going to have apple pizza.
Apple pizza?
Yeah,
kind of like an apple crisp, but like a turn on it with pizza dough?
That's right.
Right.
Except, well, it's actually going to be the crisp.
All right, there we go. So we'll do an apple pizza crisp.
That's right.
All right,
an apple
that works
crisp
for me.
Pizza, yeah. And what are you going to do? Anyway.
Well, today, we have a special with, let's do some almonds. I was going to do a little chicken cutlet with almonds and rum raisin. Okay. Now, on the side, we're actually going to have this going with the vegetable medley and rice, white rice on the side. So we're going to cook that rice in a chicken broth, which just for the duration of the show, I have the rice already on there with the chicken broth. I'm going to go ahead and start that up, though.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit more of the chicken broth just to cover it. Now, it's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio when you're cooking with this particular kind of white rice. I believe this is Carolina
rice. Okay.
And so anyway, what I'm going to start off with is I have to put we're going to do a 1/4 cup of butter.
Yep.
And we're going to put it in the pan, in the saute pan.
Okay.
With these almonds, and we're going to toast them saute-wise.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll get started with that?
Yep, so I'll get started with that.
Okay.
And why don't you show them what that, now what is it they say about old gadgets that just don't break? They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. So we, of course, went apple picking. And there's a bunch of different kinds of apples you can use. There's baking apples and eating apples. And what I kind of like to do is put more on the baking side, but then some of the eating apples that taste crisp and tart, I like that too. So what this machine is it's really a cool, newfangled, old-fangled type of machine where you put your apple in and you just kind of turn it like this. And this part is a corer, a skinner. Take the skin off. So you kind of just rotate it. And theoretically, this is a tough apple. Wait a minute.
As they say in the showbiz industry, cut.
I'm going to take another
that apple just did.
That's right.
Let's take 2 on that, and while we're resetting that apple up.
One bad apple. Don't spoil the whole bunch, though. Remember that.
All right. While you're doing that, I have the 1/4 cup of butter, of course, melting on the stove, and we also have our rice working. Now, as a special treat for you, Dad, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and grab some water for the pot that we have over here.
Nice. Look at this one. There we go. Yeah, so go ahead, Art. I'm just really excited that this core is actually working.
Right now?
It works. Look at this, a nice core.
Hold on, I gotta see this for myself. This is fine work.
Yeah.
You could not do this again in about 100 more tries on there.
And
Second try.
And you just keep going, and it comes off, and it actually cores it.
There you go.
Like that. And then it makes it nice and
long.
Look at that. So you just cut it up. So I've already done one. So isn't that cool?
Excellent. Now you're going to go ahead and do a couple
I'm going to do a few more. I've taken the liberties. I've already taken some and cut up some apples. Now, one of the things you want to make sure you do when you do cut up apples is to put lemon juice on it so it don't get all brown and things like that. So I'm just going to take a couple more cores.
Okay, so a couple more of that.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and toss our almonds on the butter because it's melting right now. All right, make sure we got that going. And I actually have a little bit of water right here that I'm going to make a cinnamon sugar simple syrup to go with your apple pizza crisp that we have
Nice.
going on. Now I'm going to take a little bit of cinnamon right here, just a little bit.
Nice.
All right. And of course that's pure cinnamon, so that's going to be very, very bold tasting.
Nice.
All right.
All right. So we got more corn going on over here. Just like it's corn, it's nice. So then you turn around and you just keep going, and it just comes off. So it's really kind of nice. So I'm just going to keep doing this for a little bit.
All right.
And
excellent.
keep
Well,
going.
to keep our audience enthralled, of course, in the action, what we have here is our rice is settling down, becoming, I love this word, moist. Okay. And we have the almonds that are sauteing in the butter. I turned down the heat a little bit. Now we're going to turn it up. I like that. We're going to turn up the heat on this show.
Cool.
Okay.
Look at these apples just going like awesome. Look at that.
Beautiful.
And then you just keep doing it, and the core comes out. And hey, would you stick a tomato in there?
There's a tomato in these apples.
Who put a tomato in my apple?
Anyway. All right. So we have the chicken for our meal today. Now, you can actually take the whole chicken breast, and cut it up, which is what I'm going to do today, just for the sake of time, because the thinner the meat, the quicker it cooks.
Okay.
Just for the sake of the 30-minute shows. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and slice it up, and you want to follow the chicken. You want to follow the chicken, but not with its head cut off, as they say. And just make sure that you're not cutting your fingers off on this one. All right.
Okay.
Excellent, for even strips. And you can actually take the fat off these and render it, which is when you put it on the stove and just let it cook and cook. And that's how we can make various stocks and sauces, as well as saute the chicken in its own fat as well.
Now is that that's accepted because that gives it all the flavor, right?
It's just the same thing. You're using chicken to cook chicken, if you will.
Yeah. Now the chicken broth, I see on the stove a lot at home. Mom will cook a bunch of chicken wings.
Yep.
She'll make that. What we made one time, the Italian wedding soup.
Oh yeah.
And that was really good. And what she'll do is cook the chicken wings in a big pot, and then all that broth is used for. We actually have an excess of broth that you can put in the refrigerator in the ice cube container. So anytime you need some broth, you can just take ice cubes out, and that works pretty well.
Okay. Now.
All right. So this is really rocking and rolling on here.
Yep. As you're doing that, we're taking off the toasted oven.
Okay.
The almonds, excuse me.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm getting them all over the place because this wouldn't be cooking with the Crandalls if we didn't just wing it all the time.
That's right.
All right. So, they're a little crispy, but that's okay. And I'm going to take a little bit of the butter, and I'm going to use some fresh butter for this. And we're going to go ahead and saute the chicken up. Now, I said that the chicken was rum, of course, with the rum raisins in it.
Yep.
So I'm going to take a little bit of the rum and put it right in with the butter used to saute the chicken.
And this recipe, as you know, it was one of grandmother's, and I loved it when she made this. This is so delicious. It is just absolutely a tried and true recipe.
Oh yeah.
So nothing fancy or ostentatious, as they say. Just really good. Comfort food. Is it comfort food?
I'd say it's comfort food. If you make it in the comfort of your own home, I call it comfort.
It's comfort food.
All right, so we're going to take a little bit of that rum.
Okay.
And if this were a previous episode, I would actually be flambeing it right now.
On a different episode.
On a different episode.
Now, so what we did was you soaked some of those raisins in rum itself.
Yes.
And that would kind of make the raisins
It's almost like a marinade for the raisins, except it soaks up the alcohol, which, some people do for, I've heard, what is it, jelly beans and all that. They soak them in rum and they pick up the flavor and everything.
Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Well, what I'm doing is I'm putting some, I've put some, previously in here, I've put some, a little bit of sugar in there, and I'm sprinkling some flour just to kind of make it so they don't stick together. Mm-hmm. And just 2 tablespoons, that's all I'm using. 2 tablespoons.
Excellent.
A little bit of sugar, you know, just get a flavoring of it.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Now, I have the almonds already all set, so I set those aside. You can take them out with the slotted spoon.
Okay.
You want to keep the butter, of course, to saute the chicken in. The rice is actually finished, so I took that off the heat.
Okay.
Right there. So that's going to settle, and the rest of it is actually going to compile into the rice, making it edible.
Okay.
Now we have our chicken over here as well, which I'm going to leave for a couple more seconds on that side.
This shouldn't take any more than like 10 minutes, should it?
Absolutely not.
No.
And at the same time, we have our sauce that we have up front for the pie.
Nice.
And we can all do this at the same time. Don't be afraid to let the sauce or the syrup boil down, because then it gets thicker and then it has that nice texture that you want on the pie.
Nice.
You can actually do this 2 ways.
Yep.
You can pour the syrup on top of the pie when it's finished.
Okay.
Or you can put it halfway done through cooking.
Nice.
Put it on as a little moisture.
Very nice.
All right.
Very nice. Depending on how it's, you know, what you're doing.
Oh, of course.
Right? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my apples. I don't know which camera we're on, Mike, right here. Show you the apples. Got my apples all cut up. And usually it's about 6 cups of apples I want. And what I'm going to do now is, so I'm going to put a crust on the bottom. And you can do 2 different ways of crust. One, you can actually use a pizza crust, like a flour crust, and actually put that on and then put it in there. So that's truly a pizza floured, and then you put the apples on it and make it like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a regular pie crust today. And I'm going to use that pie crust on a pizza sheet.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my handy pizza sheet.
Excellent.
Right here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to take care of this so we don't have any salmonella poisoning.
Very good. Very good. So what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll put it right here. Okay. Now what I've done is, yes, I'm cheating. I'm actually cheating just for the brevity of being on the show. I am going to use a unnamed dough that you can get from the supermarket and just put it right out here on here. And I'm going to spread it out, just kind of spread it out just a little bit. Okay. And then, nothing really simple. I've already taken the liberties of greasing the pan.
Okay.
All right. And then I'm just going to take it and just kind of scoop out, just like a pizza pie. You throw the mozzarella cheese on there, and you do all the, you know, the pizza cheese.
Now, if you're cutting the apples before, like we did, and you're taking them, maybe, you know, you want to take care of the apples, or you're taking care of the rice, and you just want a couple more minutes.
Yep.
You want to cook, or you want to put the apples in a water, of course, and a little bit of sugar to prevent them from oxidizing. Now, when the apples turn color after they've hit oxygen, where the term oxidizing comes from, they start to turn brown. And of course, that's why they have the skin in the first place, to protect them while they're growing.
Now, we use a little lemon on there also, because is that just a wives' tale, or does lemon juice actually help to slow down or counteract the oxidization? It's
the same theory. You just want to keep the apple from getting any kind of oxygen. And of course, the lime juice is the acid in that, which prevents the buildup of it.
There you go. So it is true. All right. Now, what I'm going to take, I want this is the crux. If you look at this, we have a big, huge mound of apples on here, okay?
Okay. As you're doing that, I just want to show that you can tell the almond, the whole element of the rum, the butter, the almonds with the chicken. It's just
Oh, that smells delicious.
Smells delicious.
So I have this, and basically what I want to do is put a coating on it. I want to put some, some sugar, some crumbs, some things like that. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to take about a half a cup of sugar, put that in there, a half a cup of flour, and put that in there. And then I'm going to measure out about 1/4 of a cup of ground ginger. Mm-hmm. All right? Now I'm going to put that in there.
Yep.
And then I'm also going to take some of that cinnamon over there.
Absolutely.
And put that in here.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
And then I'm going to take the cover off and put in a half of teaspoon. Teaspoon.
Now, while you're doing that,
yeah?
I just want to show everybody, I'm just taking the chicken off. And we're going to take the chicken off, of course, and we're going to add the raisins, and we're going to add a half cup of light cream, heavy cream, your choice, and it all depends on the sauce consistency of that. All right, so we're going to add that to it.
I'm putting in a 1/4 cup of butter. Butter. Nice butter. So is comfort food also equate to maybe a little caloric?
Not necessarily, because you can make substitutions for everything.
Okay.
The butter we could be switching with oil, of course, or we could use, here's a callback to an earlier episode, some fortified butter.
Fortified butter.
Which is half oil and half clarified butter.
Nice.
The clarified butter being the butter that we melt down. The impurities are taken from the top.
Yep.
Of course, and that, of course, will make it healthier.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm using one of these pastry cutters and just kind of chopping up the butter into the flour and sugar and ginger and cinnamon mixture. And I'll be doing this for a little bit just to get it going.
All right.
All right.
Well, if you're going to be doing that, then I'm going to be mixing in a teaspoon of cornstarch to go with this raisins. These raisins, excuse me. I want to be professional in English on the show. And we're just going to wait for the heat to break down the cornstarch and form a bond with the cream, and that's going to make that thicker sauce. Now, there's a couple of ways you can thicken up a sauce.
And who said there's no chemistry involved? Huh? You pay attention out there.
So anyway, there's arrowroot, which is very expensive. You probably won't find it in a grocery store unless it's a higher-end grocery store. I have found it before. Cornstarch is the second way. Then again, you have that starchy flavor, which you want to be aware of and cook out if you're using. And then you have a roux, which is half flour, half butter. And of course, you whisk it, and it thickens up a sauce, a stock, or a soup.
Very good. Now, the arrow root, is that a different kind? I've seen that in the house, and I've seen it at grandma's house and stuff like that. But is that a part of a cornstarch, or what is that actually?
Well, I believe it's a plant. Again, this is coming right off the top of my head, so you can't take it with a grain of salt. But I believe it's a plant, and just like the starch is from the corn.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, see, that is completely thickened up the sauce.
Nice.
Completely thickened it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the chicken back to it. All right. We're going to that looks delicious. That looks incredible right now.
That's like one of my favorite meals growing up.
All right. So we're going to put that over medium heat.
Okay.
And while that's going, I actually have some spinach too that we can mess around with as well. If we want to add spinach to the dish to give it a little color.
Okay.
Now, if you cheated on this episode, I'm allowed to cheat too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
What we have is a little vegetable medley. Now, the reason I'm using it is because we needed to use it. All right. It's leftovers, so I figure, what can we do to use, a steamed vegetable medley?
Okay.
Already steamed for us. All we have to do is put it in the saute pan, cook it up a little bit, and serve it.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Now, what I'm doing, as you can see, with my hands, making sure this is nice and crumbly. is I'm putting the layer of crumbliness over my pizza. Okay, and as you can see, it's a fine layer right here. And what this is going to do is this is going to act as a topping. You know, so I'm not using, what I'm not using is the second layer of the dough to make it a true pie. But I'm just making it a nice, thick, I call it a pizza pie, but it's a delicious apple, almost like on the side of an apple crisp, but not quite crisp because a crisp is more flat.
Absolutely.
This is I call it my apple pizza.
That's delicious.
And what we'll do is we'll throw this in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes. Now what we want to do is just to make sure it browns on the top.
So that was 375 for how many minutes?
30 minutes.
For 30 minutes. Okay. Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to put that in the oven for it.
Yep.
And that gives us about a second to talk. So what's
All
up?
right.
What's going on?
Well, you know what's really funny? Bradley is working more on the cameras and helping Mike out now. So hello goes out to Brad and stuff like that.
Excellent. And it's Spirit Week over here.
It's
at
Spirit
DS.
Week at Dover Sherburne High School.
The Thanksgiving Day game.
Yeah.
Definitely big on that.
Yeah.
Excellent. So
we just loaned our neighbor because they're all girls on that side of the street, I guess, and we're all boys on this side of the street. So we loaned them our Patriots jerseys and everything like that.
Oh, we had to hook them up, of course.
For the Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Now, well, enough of this small talk. Let's go back to cooking, shall we?
All right.
All right. So we have our vegetable medley. I told you I cheated. I'm not proud of it. I'm not.
That's all right.
But it was leftovers, and we needed to use it. So why not use it?
Yep.
All right. So there we go.
And I'm at the point now where I'm going to take my apple pizza out.
Yep.
That I did earlier today.
Ah. The secret comes up.
Yep. Now, look at this. You can see it's shrunk because the apples, the moisture have come out. And it's got a nice, you can see the sugar, the cinnamon on the side right there came out of the side. So the crispy crust. Say that 3 times fast. It just looks absolutely good. And of course, what you could do is we'll set this down right there and wait. You serve it warm, and it is warm right now. And you can serve it with ice cream. Some people, I personally don't do this, but some people put a wedge of cheese on their apple pie or something. And
a wedge of cheese?
Yeah, a wedge of cheese. Cheddar.
A hunk of cheese.
A hunk of cheese.
A hunka.
And this is just... Now, Art, this is your...
That is
simple sauce?
The cinnamon sugar simple syrup. Now look at that texture. Beautiful. Now it gives elegance to the plate. Yeah. Elegance to the plate. Chef. Chef, no fingertips. Anyway, it gives elegance to the plate.
Yeah.
And... oh, that just looks delicious.
And it smells absolutely delicious, too. Very nice. So we'll put that right here.
All right.
Move everything aside. And that tomato was pretty funny. If I put that on the apple core, that would have smashed all over the place. So I appreciate that humor.
All right. So I sauteed some spinach up.
Yeah.
Now, spinach only takes a few minutes to cook.
Okay.
As you can see, this on high heat cooked right away.
Yeah.
Now, to give our plate some color, I'm going to go ahead and put that spinach right on that side.
Okay.
All right. Now, there's no single way that you can do this. I mean, if you want to do peas on that or anything, it's up to you. Okay. Now, we also have our rice. All right. Now, we're going to put the side of rice right there.
Okay.
A couple of scoops will be good.
Couple of scoops. Looks good.
Of course. Looks nice. Looks good. And to finish out the day with our chicken, we're going to lay it right on top of the spinach. Get a little couple more of those raisins up top. That looks delicious.
Looks really
All
good.
right. And, of course, you can mix up the rice over here with a little bit of our vegetable medley.
Now, can I use this plate? Is this for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Now, if you want, you can add some red pepper to that. And last but not least,
Yeah.
a couple of our almonds that we toasted earlier.
Good, all right.
There we go.
All right. So, should we
I think it's plate up time.
plate up time?
All right.
All right. Look
So-
at that.
There's this little homemade whipped cream.
Whipped cream. Hoo-ah.
You want to whoop that heavy cream into a whipped cream.
Yeah.
And just right on top of that, that'd be delicious.
A little whipped cream on there, a little cream, little
Absolutely.
vanilla, little sugar.
Now
know,
this is,
whip it
you
up.
know, this wasn't that bad of a dish, was it?
No, it was pretty easy.
We have the, of course, the sauteed chicken
Yep.
with rum raisin and toasted almonds.
Mikey sniffing. Yeah.
And our white rice, which,
Yeah.
you know, we need to get rid of some rice and we need to get rid of our vegetable medley. And we just put it right up the top. Maybe a couple of strips of red pepper down the side, we'll be good to go.
Talk
you know
about
what?
creativity.
I saw that tomato.
Yeah.
That you got a tomato on the plate. There's your color right there.
You got the color
All right.
spectrum.
I'm Mark Crandall.
I'm Mark Crandall.
And this has been another episode of Cooking with the Crandalls.
Hey,
we'll
thank
catch you later.
You bet. Bye-bye.